And good morning, I'm Todd Barnes. This is a special report of Todd Barnes reporting. What is the state of our people? And how is the state of our economy? What's going on in the city streets the day after Memorial Day? I wanted to see for myself how much of the city has reopened. It's been about 2.5 months of not being able to drink or eat, dance, shop, and hang out downtown. So I set out on my own to see the sights of our city. Wanting an up-close and personal look, I put the 4 quarters and the dollar bill in the automated machine at the bus stop by my home. A bus comes. I'm the only one riding the bus at 12 noon. We make it 12 blocks to the light rail transit station, and there are just a few people waiting with me. The speakers begin blaring messages.
North Star Line. North Star will be suspending weekend service until further notice. Please refer to riot alerts and metrotransit.org for updated weekday schedule.
Suddenly, the train comes to a halt. Well, there's a fight that's broken.
Oh, that's funny as hell. Neither one of them motherfuckers can fight.
Coming into the city, it's now 12:20 p.m. The streets downtown are empty. Nicollet Mall has been redesigned, but ain't no customers got their design on buying anything out in these stores. It doesn't look like anytime soon. There are sad signs of economic devastation and business desolation everywhere you look. There's a weird, haunting feeling that washes over, the type of silence that only usually occurs in a major metropolis setting on a Sunday afternoon or holiday. Here, it was the day after Memorial Day, so this didn't apply. I notice people are indeed wearing masks, but many people are wearing the mask down on their chins, standing very close to one another, with their mouths and their noses exposed. The further down Nicollet Mall I go, the more bleak it gets. The IDS Center, the epicenter of our city, empty. Nordstrom Rack, closed. Well, I finally get close to my destination, that place downtown, that I know, if it's still there, and if it's open, everything will be okay. I approach the destination, and in this shot, you see how happy I'm about to be. Because anybody that knows me, well, they know that it's not Rainbow Road next to Gay Essay in Loring Park, which has my heart, my eyes, and my tongue aflutter. That's right, you guessed it. I made my way to the Lotus to Go-Go. Stood outside in a line where there were 2 of us, and then made it inside and ordered my vegetable fried rice, egg roll, and spring roll. The bill comes to $19 and some odd cents, money of which I've never been so happy to pay. One of the sons in the family who owns the Lotus happily greets me, as he has for the past 30 years, and tells me how good it is to see me. Oh, and by the way, if you're wondering why the name of the restaurant is Lotus to Go-Go instead of just Lotus to Go, it was explained to me by one of the owner's sons years ago that when their parents took out the permit to open the restaurant, the parents had broken English, and the bureaucrats approving the business wrote down Lotus to Go-Go instead of Lotus to Go. So the family just kept the name of the restaurant Lotus to Go-Go instead of changing the name. My heart experiences a warm and tender moment that one can only experience when one grows up in a city for most of one's life. As I wait for my food, I head down to Loring Park and get treated to dessert before my main course is served. Loring Park has never disappointed this old troll, and it didn't start today. My mouth is watering for my food. Oh wait, never mind. That's not in the script. I devour my egg rolls, and I see 6 brothers across the street in front of a new wing of Westminster Presbyterian Church talking. As the crowd thins out, I ask if I could chat, and this is what happened. There's hardly anybody downtown. It seems closed up. What is your opinion, and what is your take on what's happening?
To a point, I don't know what to believe. I see it as really a normal day. Give or take the fact that a lot of restaurants and stuff done closed down. That's about really the only difference. Everything else seems about the same. I see the same amount. We keep hearing that so many thousands and hundreds of people are dying from this. Nobody I know.
So,
Nobody I know.
do you think it's time for the lockdown to be lifted?
I think yes. I think it shouldn't have never been in place from the beginning, because from all that I had been listening to in the news and newspapers, word of mouth, and putting everything together, it just seemed like that stuff was here way before now. And why all of a sudden to such almost a dramatic effect, they
Why?
had to just shut down everything, everybody wearing masks all overnight.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. Somebody up top hit the panic button. And I don't, and with the way that they say it was being transmitted, and in the beginning, they didn't even know how it was transmitted. This is almost like the HIV thing. And they had people just over preparing, super locking down, and turned out it wasn't even transmitted. Now, I'm not saying that they're lying or anything like that, because, like I said, I've been hearing about this corona years ago. The back of the Lysol can. And nobody knew what the hell that was. Anyway, just spray that shit,
We've got an upcoming election. Tell me what your opinion is on that. Talk to me about your opinion of the current president. And what do you think about Joe Biden as the Democratic presumptive nominee?
Man, can I be totally honest with America? I don't give two bleeps, because, first of all, I think that it seems to me that that stuff ends up becoming like a soap opera. We don't really have a whole lot as much say as we think. Our say does count to a degree like an audience, as opposed to us having such a greater hand in that, because we're not making those big bucks. We're making the itty bitty, and as it goes up.
Will you vote this next election in November?
No, because I see the overlay for the underplay even with the.
When was the last election you voted in?
I'd say at least. Bill Clinton was the last one.
All right. All right. And where do you see this nation in a month, and particularly this city? What does it look like in a month? Is it still a ghost town?
Probably. And I think that's going to go on for a while. I believe that's going to go on for a while. Some of it is kind of needed to a degree. Like I say, I think they just kind of overdoing it.
If you had one message to public officials that you could let them know what's on your mind, what would it be?
Don't believe the hype. Like Mama always said, don't believe everything you hear, but don't disbelieve, because ignorance is not blissful. This makes you a dumbass.
I make my way back to the train, the entire way down Nicollet Mall, to the 5th Street station. An African-American woman is following a shirtless man yelling, "If you want to fuck her, then just fuck her." He cusses her out and runs down the street. When I finally make it to the 6th Street station, the woman who was yelling at the man is now running up to another couple who's also fighting. As I approach the light rail transit station, the dude from the second fighting couple takes a lunge with an open fist towards his woman. I duck out of the way, almost stepping onto the train tracks. As I stand waiting for the light rail transit, the first woman who was fighting with her man is now chasing the second woman who was fighting with her man with a knife. It calms down. The second girl begins to walk down the street, saying she'll never get involved like this with another nigga again. I get seated on the light rail transit, finally ready to go home. I look up, and I see the formerly knife-wielding woman, now several seats in front of me, just as calm as can be, Our light rail transit passes City Hall, where there's some kind of major news conference happening in front of the city. I get home and I find out the press conference was being held because another brother has been choked to death by the police in our nation. This time, right here in Minneapolis. The formerly knife-wielding woman gets off the train at the light rail transit station at the Cedar Riverside station. I get off the train at the 46th Street station about 2:20 p.m. It had just been over 2 hours since I decided to see for myself what we've come to be. In a city that's empty, in a park that's sparse, at a bus stop that's dangerous, at restaurants with no customers, at stores with no patrons, in a land with a people either exhibiting hypercare and caution or a people who are tragically gripped by fear. I make it home safely. But apparently the brother choked by the Minneapolis cop last night did not. I can only hope that the lady with the knife and the girl she was running after and the two angry brothers who were cursing out the women and throwing closed punches made it home safely too. Todd Barnes, reporting.
After witnessing the sad state of our city up close and personal, Todd Barnes Reporting is taking the editorial stance that we must get our cities, states, and nation up and running again. With just over 67,000 villages, towns, and cities in this nation, we've lost just under 2 people per city, town, or village so far to death as a result of COVID-19. We've officially passed the point of the cure being worse than the problem. We're not saying elderly or vulnerable people should hit the streets. Please don't write in and tell me you'd love to help get our economy going again, but you're elderly or you have this or that condition that makes you susceptible to great illness or death. I'm talking about the people who were born without the hindrance of physical abilities. The folks who eat fruits and vegetables, exercise, take care of their temples, and could weather a bout of the corona flu. If it applies, then I may be talking about you. Todd Barnes, reporting.